Are you ready?
Ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Hello guys and welcome back. It's David here. I am at Casino Quest.
Wave your hands in front because, this
Hello,
is...
hello. Yes. So it's me and Dennis here, and
You were
I'm
about to say
teaching.
you and David.
Excuse me?
You were about to say you and David.
I was me, myself, and I. But no, it's me and Dennis, and we are going to go over. So I'm teaching Dennis basically how we pay odds on all the numbers and how we set up the bets without being very good at math. Because as we all know, Dennis sucks at math, okay?
Thank you.
Luckily, Dennis has 10 full-sized fingers and 10 toes, as far as I know.
Oh my god.
And the famous 11th digit,
Oh.
or the 21st digit. Because that's good to have when you're dealing 21. You got to have that 21st digit. I used to have a friend of mine who used to be like, I can count to 21, and I would look at him going, what does that mean? Everybody can count to 21. He's like, no, I can count to 21. He threw his hips out there, and I'm like, oh, I get it now, I get it. Because the joke was always that blackjack dealers would they would put their fingers on the table. You'll still see this today. Blackjack dealers go 1, 2, 3 as they're counting the cards. And so what you learn as you become a dealer, you kind of it becomes a picture. So there used to be a distinction between like the first year dealer. A first year dealer is still using their fingers on blackjack, right? Unlike a second year dealer is starting to really get around the layout, a blackjack dealer for the most part, even dice dealers. And everything becomes more of a picture. They see it, and so this looks like this, and this looks like that, and they become much faster because they've already seen it. A perfect example of that is a $35 blackjack, okay? A $35 blackjack pays $52.50. You know what I mean? And there's a point where the blackjack dealer knows they don't need to see me for this. They just have to. This is a. Anyways, so dice has a few different scenarios, right? You start out as a break-in. You're still getting comfortable at the table and your crew interacting. And if you've ever been on a new table as a startup crew, you get hazed a lot, dude, because it's a process. A lot of hazing going on. Your stick person, your experienced crew will give you a lot of crap. I mean, depending upon and fun crap, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I've actually had someone get tapped off a stick by a supervisor and be sent looking for a left-handed stick.
Really?
Or like a right-handed bowl, or you know what I mean? And the guy's like, okay, left-handed stick. He's like, yeah. He's like, and he's got to convince that they choose to go one way, and I'm like, dude, you just have to. What? That doesn't make any sense. And they absolutely 100% believe it. Yeah, no, that's the thing. But anyways, so the thing with the math and the colors, so when you're two-year dealers are, they start to see the picture. Once you get past that, the next benchmark was really a 5-year dealer. And everybody asks, well, why a 5-year dealer? And a 5-year dealer is a dealer that could, back in the day, could go to the strip and work at the big properties and deal some big action. Because at 5 years, you're so confident not just confident with the checks, you start having a lot of presence on the game. And then everything turns into pieces and colors. I mean, everything turns into units and color. I call it units and colors. We had a friend of ours, a YouTube fan, that said pieces. Someone else has been in the business a long time. And that's very true. You no longer look at things as, okay, that's $500 or this is $25. Everything is colors and pieces. And it makes everything just so much easier, and I'm going to show you why. And at first, it's going to seem almost stupid, like you're like, oh, that's just stupid. But when it's amazing how often I run into this. Okay, so here's an example: $25 on the 10. Okay, all right. So let's say someone has a come bet $25. Okay. And then you say, well, what are the odds? Well, the odds, let's say by default, 3, 4, 5 times odds. We're going to work with come bets first when it comes to units and pieces, units and colors, and then we're going to go to place bets real quick. So a lot of people will go, well, what odds can I take? Well, if you have one green one, you can take 3 green one. There's the units, right? Units and colors. Do you follow? As opposed to 25 times 3, 75, right? So like if you know the math, great. But other than that, I mean, I literally had a student the other day staring at this going, okay, it's 3 times odds. How much can they take? And apparently their 3 times table was a bit stuck. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Craps invites you to learn math. For those of you in school, We had a 5th grade math teacher one time reach out to us, me and Alex, and wanted to bring his class down. I mean, this is applied mathematics, you know what I mean? If you ever wonder how important is math, well, learn a little math. You don't have to know a lot of math, but a little math will do you. You know what I mean? Like a little dab will do you, a little math will do you, this kind of thing.
God.
Oh my God. All right, look. So instead of her counting out, I asked her, I said, okay, well, what are the odds, okay? How much odds can you take? And so she was trying very hard to come up with 75. The other correct answer is 3 green. 1 green gets 3 green. That's all you have to know. You don't even have to know it's 75. You can tell someone up to 3 green. Maybe they know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you can take less, by the way, just so you for those out there. But so you can take whatever the table minimum is. So if the table minimum is $10, you could take as little as $10 odds, up to $75 odds. Okay, 75. So there's a perfect example of presence on the game. Presence on the game, control of the game, mastery of the game is just everything has a picture. Now, the next part of this picture is what does it pay? Well, it pays 2 to 1. So the flat bet's always going to pay 25. That's an easy one, right? I don't even need to know what the top pays or what the amount is. I can just go ahead. I got 3 of these. All I need to do is cut out 3 and double.
Oh, okay.
You follow?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's $150, right? But I don't need to know it's $150. And then boom. So if I really wanted to do this, I could say, hey, there's 3 green ones, there's 3, double, and then drop 1 for here.
Is that okay?
That's it. That's absolutely the correct way to cut it out. No. Now you can convert. A lot of casinos don't want you. See, now that's another lesson. So when it comes to sort of magic, we should do that next week, by the way. You know, so how casinos control the black. I think a lot of customers, a lot of players would like to know that too, because blacks on a crap table, you don't tend to give out. If you have it, this is still a green player, even though they're getting paid in black quantities or black amount. This obviously is 175. The casino still wants them to play with green. Plus, they're gonna need a lot of green to follow these comebacks. You follow?
So, but how about if like someone has reds? You know what I mean? Like if it was a.
Like what? So easily. So let's say, for example, let's say I had a scenario where you have this is a little bit off topic, but let's say there's 20 red here, and someone went $60 odds, right? Because 3 times 20 is $60, right? $60 odds. So how much does it pay?
60, so it would just be double 120.
Yep, 120 and 20, 140.
Yeah.
So you could do this. This is a really good example. So this is 140, right? But in this case, it's a red and green player. I'm probably going to cut out 125 and 15, 140 like this. Again, outside hand, bring it off. You follow?
Yeah.
Okay,
Makes
so you get green and red. That's all the conversion necessary. The minute you start feeding blacks out to players, the supervisor or box person needs to know which black are leaving the game. And a lot of times what happens is these end up being, the customer will take blacks, put them in their pocket, and not really play them. This isn't really a black player. They're not going to do much with these blacks in terms of the game itself. You follow? Mm-hmm. So you don't want to really give these out. Okay. So a lot of times you'll see the box person, the supervisor, they won't even put those out for the dealer. They'll slowly throw you one when you need it, or they may put